When you decide to go no contact with a narcissist, it is one of the most powerful steps you can take to reclaim your freedom and emotional well-being. No contact means cutting off all communication. No texts, calls, emails, or social media interactions. For many, this boundary is a crucial act of self-preservation. However, while you are working to heal and rebuild your life, the narcissist is not sitting quietly. In fact, going no contact triggers a series of predictable and often disturbing behaviors from them. Understanding what the narcissist does every day when you go no contact can empower you to stay firm in your decision and protect your mental and emotional space. At the core of a narcissist's behavior is a deep, insatiable need for narcissistic supply. The emotional energy they extract from others to validate their fragile sense of self. When you go no contact, you cut off that supply, which threatens their control and forces them to confront their own emptiness. This loss can provoke a range of manipulative and obsessive behaviors as the narcissist attempts to regain control over you. One of the first things a narcissist does when you go no contact is obsessively monitor your life. Even if you have blocked them on social media, they may create fake profiles or use mutual connections to gather information about you. They become fixated on your activities, desperate to know whether you are suffering without them or thriving. This surveillance serves two purposes: to maintain a sense of control and to identify potential weaknesses they can exploit. For example, if they discover you are struggling emotionally, they may view it as an opportunity to re-enter your life. Conversely, if they see you flourishing, their feelings of inadequacy may drive them to escalate their manipulative tactics. This obsessive monitoring is a sign that the narcissist's ego cannot tolerate the idea of losing influence over you. Another behavior narcissists engage in daily is crafting a false narrative about the relationship and its aftermath. To protect their fragile self-image, they may spread lies and misinformation to mutual friends, family members, or colleagues. They might portray themselves as the victim, claiming you abandoned them without reason or that you are unstable and unreasonable. This smear campaign serves to isolate you from potential sources of support while maintaining their public facade of innocence. The narcissist's false narrative often includes reversing the roles of victim and abuser. They may accuse you of the very behaviors they engaged in: lying, manipulation, or emotional abuse. This tactic not only deflects blame but also confuses those who might otherwise support you. By controlling the narrative, the narcissist seeks to damage your reputation while preserving their own. In addition to spreading falsehoods, the narcissist may engage in hoovering, a calculated attempt to pull you back into the relationship. This tactic is named after the vacuum cleaner because the narcissist tries to suck you back into their orbit. Hoovering can take many forms, from sending nostalgic messages to fabricating crises to evoke your sympathy. For instance, they might send a message like, "I've been thinking about the good times we shared. I wish we could talk." Or they may claim to be facing a personal crisis, an illness, financial hardship, or emotional breakdown, to manipulate your empathy. These messages are designed to reignite your emotional connection and bypass your boundaries. Narcissists also engage in emotional projection during no contact. Unable to process their feelings of rejection or inadequacy, they project these emotions onto you. They may accuse you of being selfish, cruel, or ungrateful, all the while denying their own toxic behavior. This projection not only shields them from self-reflection but also reinforces their belief that you are the problem. Projection often extends to replacing you with a new source of supply. When you go no contact, the narcissist quickly seeks out new targets to fill the void you left. This new relationship, often referred to as a replacement, is not about genuine connection but about restoring their sense of power and control. They may flaunt this new relationship on social media or through mutual acquaintances to provoke jealousy and undermine your healing. However, behind the facade of a perfect new relationship, the narcissist's patterns of manipulation continue. This new supply will eventually face the same cycles of idealization, devaluation, and discard that you experienced. The narcissist's inability to form genuine emotional bonds means that no relationship can truly satisfy their need for validation. Another daily behavior the narcissist engages in is fantasizing about revenge. Your decision to go no contact is perceived as a direct attack on their ego. In response, they may fantasize about ways to punish you for leaving. This can range from spreading damaging rumors to attempting to sabotage your personal or professional life. Their need for revenge is driven by a profound sense of entitlement, the belief that no one has the right to reject or abandon them. In some cases, the narcissist may escalate their behavior to stalking or harassment. This can include persistent messaging, showing up uninvited to your home or workplace, or using mutual contacts to deliver messages. These actions are designed to break down your resolve and force you back into communication. If the narcissist cannot regain your affection, they will settle for controlling your attention through fear and intimidation. Despite their external displays of arrogance and anger, beneath the surface, the narcissist is grappling with profound emptiness and insecurity. Your absence forces them to confront the parts of themselves they have spent a lifetime avoiding. However, instead of engaging in genuine self-reflection, they externalize their pain and project it onto others. Understanding these behaviors is crucial for maintaining no contact and protecting your emotional well-being. The narcissist's daily actions are not expressions of love or regret. They are manifestations of their need for control. By recognizing these patterns, you can disarm their manipulations and stay focused on your healing journey. Staying no contact requires emotional resilience and a commitment to self-care. Surround yourself with supportive people who validate your experiences and reinforce your worth. Engage in practices that nurture your mind and body: therapy, journaling, mindfulness, and creative expression. Each day you maintain no contact is a declaration that you deserve a life free from manipulation and emotional harm. Ultimately, the narcissist's behavior during no contact reveals a fundamental truth. You were never the problem. Their inability to accept boundaries or accountability reflects their brokenness, not yours. By choosing no contact, you reclaim your power, prioritize your healing, and open the door to a future defined by peace and self-love. When you go no contact with a narcissist, their obsession with you does not fade. It intensifies. Every day without your attention feels like a personal rejection, a direct threat to their fragile ego. While you are focused on healing, they are consumed with thoughts of how to regain control. The absence of contact drives them to engage in increasingly manipulative and intrusive behaviors. They cannot handle being ignored, and this perceived loss of power pushes them to extreme measures to draw you back into their orbit. One of the first things a narcissist does during no contact is fixate on why you left and how they can pull you back. This obsessive thinking dominates their daily thoughts. For the narcissist, losing control over you is intolerable because they rely on others to reflect their self-worth. Without your attention, they are left to face the emptiness and insecurity they constantly try to avoid. This is why they spend their days strategizing ways to re-establish contact and reaffirm their power. They often resort to monitoring your life from a distance. Even if you block them on every platform, narcissists find creative ways to keep tabs on you. They may create fake social media accounts, ask mutual acquaintances for updates, or subtly stalk your online activity. Every piece of information they gather fuels their obsessive desire to know whether you are suffering without them or thriving. If they see you moving on, their sense of injury deepens. If they sense you are struggling, they view it as an opportunity to strike and regain influence. During this period, the narcissist may also begin a smear campaign. Their goal is to control how others perceive you and the relationship. They spread false narratives about you to mutual friends, family, or even colleagues. This campaign serves two purposes: to protect their image and to punish you for cutting them off. They portray themselves as the victim and you as the villain, twisting reality to suit their needs. This manipulation does not stop with words. They may exaggerate or fabricate stories to discredit you. They tell people you are unstable, selfish, or abusive. By controlling the narrative, they attempt to isolate you from potential sources of support and reinforce their own self-image. Their obsession with maintaining control over your reputation shows just how deeply no contact threatens their fragile sense of superiority. In addition to smearing your name, the narcissist engages in hoovering, a manipulative tactic designed to pull you back in. Hoovering can take many forms, from subtle emotional appeals to grand gestures meant to overwhelm your defenses. They might send seemingly harmless messages like, "I hope you're doing okay," or "I was just thinking about our good times together." These carefully crafted statements are meant to stir up emotions and tempt you into responding. When subtle hoovering does not work, narcissists often escalate to creating crises. They fabricate emergencies to manipulate your empathy. For example, they might claim to be dealing with a serious illness, a personal tragedy, or a mental breakdown. They know that if they present themselves as vulnerable, you may feel guilty and break no contact. This tactic is not about genuine suffering. It is about exploiting your compassion to regain access to your emotional energy. The narcissist also engages in fantasies of revenge. Your decision to cut them off feels like a humiliation they cannot tolerate. As a result, they obsess over ways to punish you. They may spread vicious rumors, damage your professional relationships, or attempt to ruin your new romantic prospects. Their actions are driven by a desire to reassert power and make you regret leaving. In their mind, they cannot let you win by moving on without them. Another everyday behavior is triangulation, using third parties to provoke a response from you. This can include flaunting a new relationship publicly or encouraging mutual friends to pass along messages. They want you to feel jealous, insecure, or replaceable. By showing off a new partner, they try to trigger emotional pain and make you doubt your worth. Triangulation is a cruel but calculated effort to make you question whether no contact was the right choice. As their frustration grows, the narcissist may resort to harassment. This can involve constant texting, calling from unknown numbers, or showing up unexpectedly. If they cannot draw you back with subtle tactics, they will try to break your boundaries through sheer persistence. Their sense of entitlement makes them believe they deserve your attention, no matter how many times you reject them. What makes their behavior even more disturbing is how quickly they can shift between emotions. One day they may act like they miss you deeply, and the next they may express hatred and contempt. This emotional cycling is not genuine. It is a strategic attempt to find a weakness in your resolve. If kindness does not work, they will try cruelty. If cruelty fails, they will return to playing the victim. This constant emotional manipulation reflects their inability to accept that you have chosen to leave. Despite their relentless efforts, the truth is that the narcissist is deeply insecure. Your decision to go no contact forces them to confront feelings of worthlessness they cannot face alone. Instead of reflecting on their actions or seeking genuine change, they focus all their energy on regaining external validation. Every day without your attention feels like proof that they are powerless. This inner turmoil drives their obsessive and often dangerous behavior. To protect yourself, it is crucial to understand that every action the narcissist takes is about control, not love. They do not miss you as a person. They miss the power they had over you. Their goal is not to reconcile but to regain access to your emotional resources. No matter how convincing their words or actions may seem, their motivations remain selfish and manipulative. The best way to protect yourself is to maintain strict no contact. Block all communication channels, including social media and mutual friends who might act as messengers. Document any attempts to harass or threaten you in case you need legal protection. Most importantly, surround yourself with a support system that understands the dynamics of narcissistic abuse and affirms your decision to prioritize your well-being. Staying no contact is an act of self-liberation. Every day you remain disconnected is a day you reclaim your power. It is a statement that you deserve to live free from manipulation and emotional harm. By choosing yourself over the narcissist's demands, you take back control of your life and open the door to healing, peace, and genuine love. As the days of no contact stretch on, the narcissist's internal chaos continues to grow. Although they may project an image of strength or indifference to the outside world, beneath that facade lies a storm of anger, insecurity, and obsession. Each passing day without your attention feels like an unbearable rejection, a wound to their fragile ego that they cannot tolerate. This drives them to engage in a variety of manipulative behaviors, all designed to break your silence and pull you back under their control. One of the most persistent behaviors the narcissist engages in during no contact is obsessive rumination. They think about you constantly. Not because they love you, but because they cannot stand losing their grip on your emotional world. For a narcissist, relationships are not about mutual care or connection. They are about power dynamics. When you cut off communication, you disrupt their carefully constructed sense of superiority. This loss of control fuels an obsessive need to regain your attention. Each day, they replay the relationship in their minds, fixating on both the times they felt powerful and the moments they felt slighted. They may dwell on arguments where you stood up for yourself, interpreting your independence as a challenge to their authority. At the same time, they fantasize about the good times, romanticizing the periods when you admired or depended on them. These conflicting thoughts create a mental loop, trapping them in a cycle of idealizing and devaluing you even in your absence. As this internal turmoil intensifies, the narcissist often engages in projection. Instead of accepting responsibility for the relationship's breakdown, they convince themselves that you are the problem. In their mind, you are cold, ungrateful, or even cruel for enforcing no contact. This projection allows them to avoid confronting their own abusive behaviors. By painting you as the villain, they maintain their illusion of being the real victim. To reinforce this narrative, they frequently seek validation from others. They may reach out to mutual friends or family members, spinning a story in which they are the wounded party. This serves two purposes. First, to control how others perceive you, and second, to recruit people who can pressure you into breaking no contact. They might say things like, "I'm worried about them, I just want to know if they're okay. I never meant to hurt them. I wish they would give me a chance to apologize. I've changed. I'm a better person now, but they won't even talk to me." These statements are not genuine reflections of remorse. Instead, they are carefully crafted to evoke sympathy and make you appear unreasonable for maintaining no contact. The narcissist knows that if they can manipulate public opinion, they increase the chances of breaking through your emotional defenses. At the same time, the narcissist may begin stalking your online presence. Even if you have blocked them on social media, they often find ways to monitor your life. They may create fake profiles, use mutual friends' accounts, or search for any public updates you share. Every post, photo, or comment you make becomes fuel for their obsession. If you appear happy or thriving, it triggers their feelings of inadequacy and fuels their desire for revenge. If you seem sad or vulnerable, they view it as an opportunity to strike. This need to monitor you extends beyond the virtual world. In more extreme cases, narcissists engage in physical stalking, driving by your home, showing up at your workplace, or accidentally running into you in familiar places. These actions are not random. They are deliberate attempts to remind you of their presence and erode your sense of safety. By inserting themselves into your physical space, the narcissist hopes to make you feel powerless and eventually relent to their attempts at reconnection. When their stalking and manipulative narratives fail to elicit a response, narcissists often escalate to direct harassment. This can take the form of endless phone calls, text messages, and emails, sometimes under the guise of innocent questions or concerns. They might send messages like, "I found something of yours. Do you want it back? I just need closure. Can we talk one last time? You're being so cruel by ignoring me. I deserve an explanation." These messages are carefully designed to provoke an emotional response. If kindness does not work, they may turn to threats or insults, accusing you of being heartless or selfish. Their goal is to exploit any emotional vulnerability you still have, using it as a crack through which they can regain control. When direct communication is blocked, narcissists often resort to symbolic gestures meant to stir your emotions. This might include leaving gifts on your doorstep, sending letters, or even posting cryptic messages on social media. These acts are calculated to confuse you, making you question whether they truly care or have changed. In reality, these gestures are just another tool in their manipulation arsenal, a way to test whether you are still emotionally available. One of the most dangerous tactics narcissists use during no contact is creating emergencies. They may fabricate crises, such as claiming to be seriously ill, having a mental breakdown, or facing financial ruin. Knowing that you have a compassionate nature, They weaponize your empathy to manipulate you into breaking no contact. These fabricated emergencies are not about genuine need. They are designed to make you feel responsible for their well-being and guilty for protecting your own. Despite all their manipulations, the core of the narcissist's behavior remains the same: an insatiable need for control. They cannot stand the idea that you are living a life outside their influence. Every day without your attention reinforces their deepest fear, that they are unimportant and powerless. Instead of accepting reality and moving on, they double down on their efforts to break your boundaries and reassert dominance. Understanding these behaviors is crucial for maintaining your emotional strength. The narcissist's actions are not about love or regret. They are about control and power. Every attempt to contact you is a reminder that they see you not as a person, but as a source of validation. By staying no contact, you deny them access to your emotional energy and reclaim your autonomy. To protect yourself, it is essential to reinforce your boundaries and stay vigilant. Document any harassment, maintain your privacy, and inform trusted people about your situation. Most importantly, remind yourself why you chose no contact in the first place: to protect your peace, dignity, and emotional health. Every day you stay no contact is a victory. It is a declaration that you refuse to be controlled or manipulated any longer. With time and support, you will continue to heal and rebuild a life where you are free from the narcissist's toxic influence. By holding firm to your boundaries, you not only protect yourself, you also send a clear message that your well-being is non-negotiable. As the days of no contact turn into weeks or months, the narcissist's obsession does not simply fade away. It evolves. They may outwardly pretend to move on, but internally, their fixation on you intensifies. Every day without your attention feels like a blow to their ego, pushing them toward increasingly manipulative behaviors. The narcissist cannot tolerate being ignored because your absence forces them to confront the emptiness they work so hard to avoid. Rather than accepting reality, they escalate their tactics, attempting to break your boundaries and reclaim their power over you. One of the most common behaviors the narcissist exhibits during this time is emotional cycling. Each day, their emotional state shifts dramatically depending on whether they feel a sense of control. One moment, they might be filled with rage, resenting you for leaving and plotting ways to make you suffer. The next, they may slip into desperation, longing for your attention and fantasizing about reconciliation. This emotional instability is a hallmark of narcissistic behavior. It is not rooted in genuine feelings for you but in their inability to manage their internal chaos without an external source of validation. During this phase, the narcissist may engage in idealization and devaluation, even without direct contact. In their mind, they alternate between romanticizing the relationship and belittling you to protect their ego. When they feel vulnerable, they cling to the image of you as a perfect partner, someone who could fulfill their emotional needs if only you would return. When their anger takes hold, they dehumanize you, convincing themselves that you are cold, heartless, or broken. This mental back and forth allows them to avoid taking responsibility for their actions while preserving their belief in their own superiority. One of the most damaging behaviors the narcissist adopts during no contact is flying monkeys, using third parties to invade your life. They may recruit mutual friends, family members, or even strangers to gather information about you or deliver messages on their behalf. These flying monkeys often have no idea they are being manipulated. The narcissist presents themselves as a concerned or misunderstood victim, spinning a narrative that paints you as the aggressor. By using others to contact you, the narcissist bypasses your boundaries while maintaining plausible deniability. In some cases, the narcissist may go as far as to fabricate lies to turn people against you. They may accuse you of infidelity, emotional abuse, or other hurtful actions. These false accusations are not random. They are calculated to damage your reputation and isolate you from sources of support. The narcissist knows that if they can make you appear unstable or cruel, they increase the likelihood of weakening your social connections and eventually breaking your emotional resolve. As the narcissist's desperation grows, so does their tendency to engage in mirroring behaviors. They may adopt new interests, hobbies, or values they know are important to you. This is not a sign of genuine change. It is a manipulative strategy designed to make you question whether they have evolved. By presenting themselves as the person you always wished they could be, they aim to create doubt and tempt you into reopening the lines of communication. At the same time, they may use reverse hoovering, a tactic where they appear to move on or become indifferent to provoke a reaction. They might publicly display happiness, start new relationships, or flaunt their success in an exaggerated way. These actions are designed to make you feel forgotten and unimportant, triggering feelings of insecurity or jealousy. However, beneath the surface, the narcissist remains obsessed with your response. If you engage, even out of anger or curiosity, it confirms to them that they still hold power over your emotions. Another common tactic the narcissist employs is emotional blackmail. If direct or subtle manipulation does not work, they resort to more extreme measures to break your no-contact boundary. They might threaten self-harm, claim to be in danger, or insist that only you can save them. These manipulative pleas are designed to exploit your empathy and create a sense of obligation. The narcissist knows that you once cared deeply, and they use that compassion as a weapon to pull you back into their orbit. In their most extreme moments, narcissists may even attempt to rewrite history. They twist the truth, denying past abuse or claiming that you misunderstood their intentions. They may say things like, "You're overreacting, I was never that bad. I only hurt you because I loved you so much. If you had just communicated better, none of this would have happened." This gaslighting is intended to make you question your reality. The narcissist hopes that by distorting your memories, you will doubt your decision to go no contact and eventually let them back into your life. At their core, narcissists are driven by an insatiable need for narcissistic supply. The emotional energy they extract from those around them. When you cut off access to that supply, it triggers a deep sense of panic. Rather than confronting their emotional wounds, they direct all their energy toward reclaiming control over you. Their daily actions, whether overt or subtle, are all part of this relentless pursuit. Despite their best efforts, no contact deprives the narcissist of the power they crave. This loss of influence often leads to narcissistic injury, a psychological wound that shatters their inflated self-image. In response, some narcissists retreat temporarily to lick their wounds, while others become more aggressive, escalating their harassment. Regardless of their external behavior, the internal damage remains the same. Your refusal to engage exposes their fundamental vulnerability, and they cannot tolerate the idea that someone else holds that much power over their emotional state. Maintaining no contact is not just an act of self-preservation, it is a reclaiming of your autonomy. Each day you refuse to engage is a declaration that you will no longer be manipulated or controlled. The narcissist's reactions, no matter how intense, are evidence of your strength. You have disrupted their carefully crafted world, and their desperation to pull you back is a testament to how much they relied on your emotional energy. To protect yourself, it is vital to remain vigilant and prioritize your well-being. This may involve strengthening your privacy settings, alerting loved ones to the narcissist's tactics, and documenting any forms of harassment. Emotional healing takes time, but with each passing day, you move closer to freedom. By choosing no contact, you break the cycle of abuse and reclaim your life. The narcissist may continue their relentless pursuit, but their power diminishes every time you refuse to engage. In the end, the greatest victory is your ability to live a life free from their toxic influence, a life where your peace and self-worth are no longer subject to their manipulation. As time continues to pass, the narcissist's frustration intensifies. The longer you maintain no contact, the more they feel their grip slipping away. For a narcissist, losing control over someone they once dominated is not something they accept easily. Each day without your reaction deepens their obsession because, in their mind, you are not just a person who moved on. You are an extension of their identity that they cannot bear to lose. This fuels a range of behaviors, all designed to disrupt your peace and force a reaction from you. One of the most common things a narcissist does every day during no contact is fantasizing about revenge or reconciliation. Their mind becomes a battlefield where two opposing desires clash. On one hand, they want to punish you for daring to cut them off, imagining scenarios where they can humiliate or make you regret your decision. On the other hand, they fantasize about pulling you back into their web, convincing themselves that they can charm or manipulate you into resuming the relationship. This mental tug-of-war only increases their sense of urgency to make you break the no-contact boundary. Every day, the narcissist also monitors your life through any means available. Even if you have blocked them on all platforms, they often find alternative ways to keep tabs on you. They might create fake social media accounts, enlist mutual friends to spy on you, or stalk public spaces where you used to spend time. This obsessive surveillance is not simply curiosity. It is a desperate attempt to maintain a psychological connection to you. Seeing you live your life without them is intolerable because it threatens their illusion of being indispensable. In their search for control, the narcissist frequently manufactures crises to grab your attention. They know that you once cared deeply, and they aim to exploit that compassion by fabricating emergencies. They might claim to be sick, struggling mentally, or facing some life-altering hardship. Messages like, "I'm falling apart without you," or "I just need someone to talk to," are meant to create feelings of guilt and obligation. These staged crises are manipulative tools, not genuine cries for help. Their only goal is to weaken your boundaries and force you to re-engage. Another tactic narcissists use daily during no contact is emotional manipulation through shared memories. They might post nostalgic references on social media, send messages about the good times, or leave subtle reminders of your past together. By doing this, they aim to trigger feelings of longing or regret, hoping you will reach out. These carefully crafted gestures are designed to play on your emotions, making you question whether you made the right decision by going no contact. If their subtle manipulations fail, many narcissists resort to smear campaigns. Unable to control you directly, they attempt to damage your reputation and social standing. This can include spreading false rumors, twisting private details of your relationship, or portraying themselves as the innocent victim. They tell others that you abandoned them without cause, that you were unstable, or even that you are the abuser. The purpose of these lies is twofold: to punish you for leaving and to isolate you from mutual support systems. By controlling the narrative, they hope to make you feel defenseless and more likely to return. At the same time, narcissists often engage in superficial self-improvement to create the illusion of change. They might start exercising, pursuing new hobbies, or pretending to engage in personal growth. These changes are not genuine attempts at self-betterment. They are part of a calculated performance aimed at convincing you they have transformed. They know that if they can present themselves as a new and improved version, you may be tempted to reconsider your decision. However, beneath this facade, their core personality remains unchanged. A more insidious tactic narcissists use is triangulation, bringing another person into the dynamic to provoke jealousy or insecurity. They may flaunt a new relationship, post pictures with someone else, or make sure you hear about how happy they are without you. This is not about genuine affection for the new person. It is about using them as a tool to provoke a reaction from you. The narcissist wants you to feel replaced and insignificant, hoping the pain will drive you to break no contact out of jealousy or a need for validation. On a deeper level, the narcissist also engages in self-victimization as a daily coping mechanism. They frame themselves as the one who was wronged, rewriting the narrative to avoid accountability. In their mind, you are the cruel one for leaving, and they were the devoted partner who only wanted to love you. This self-delusion allows them to avoid confronting their abusive behaviors while justifying their ongoing attempts to violate your boundaries. Despite their external behaviors, the narcissist's inner world is filled with emotional emptiness and insecurity. Every day without your attention deepens their feelings of worthlessness, even if they refuse to admit it. Narcissists cannot self-soothe or manage their emotions independently. They rely on others to provide a sense of identity. When you remove yourself from that equation, it forces them to confront the void they spend their entire lives avoiding. As no contact persists, some narcissists escalate to direct sabotage. If they cannot manipulate you emotionally, they may attempt to damage your personal or professional life. This could include spreading harmful lies at your workplace, interfering with your social relationships, or attempting to disrupt your daily routine. The narcissist views your independence as a threat, and their sabotage is an attempt to undermine your ability to thrive without them. When all else fails, many narcissists eventually shift to hoovering, an intense, last-ditch effort to pull you back into their orbit. This can take many forms: grand romantic gestures, apologies, or promises to change. They may say things like, "I finally realize what I did wrong. I'll never hurt you again. You're the only one who understands me. I can't live without you. I know I made mistakes, but doesn't our history mean anything to you?" These pleas are carefully designed to wear down your emotional defenses. The narcissist is not interested in genuine reconciliation or growth. They simply want to regain the power they lost when you enforced no contact. If you respond, even to reject them, they view it as a victory because it means they still hold emotional influence over you. The most important thing to understand is that the narcissist's behavior is not about love. It is about control. Every day they spend trying to break no contact is driven by their inability to accept that you have reclaimed your autonomy. Their actions, whether subtle or aggressive, are all part of a larger effort to reassert their dominance and restore their fragile ego. Maintaining no contact requires unwavering resolve. It means recognizing that every message, gesture, or rumor is a manipulation designed to trap you back in the cycle of abuse. The narcissist will not change, no matter how convincing their words or how sincere their actions appear. The only way to truly protect yourself is to remain firm in your boundaries and refuse to re-engage. By staying no contact, you are choosing freedom. Each day you maintain that boundary is a testament to your strength and self-worth. While the narcissist may continue their daily attempts to break you down, their power diminishes with every moment you refuse to respond. You are no longer their source of validation, you are your own, and that is a freedom they will never be able to control again. Each day that you maintain no contact, the narcissist's frustration grows deeper. Their need for control over you does not simply disappear because you have chosen to cut ties. Instead, it fuels their determination to find ways to pull you back into their grasp. Every single day, they engage in behaviors designed to weaken your resolve and re-establish their dominance. The narcissist cannot accept being ignored because it contradicts their belief that they are the center of your world. This drives them to take increasingly manipulative actions behind the scenes, hoping to provoke a reaction from you. One of the most common things the narcissist does daily is obsessively replaying past interactions in their mind. They cycle through conversations, arguments, and intimate moments, analyzing them for any signs of weakness or unfinished emotional ties. This mental fixation is not rooted in genuine feelings for you but in their inability to accept defeat. They view relationships as power struggles, and your decision to go no contact represents a loss they cannot tolerate. By replaying the past, they search for emotional hooks they can use to draw you back into their web. At the same time, the narcissist engages in fantasies of control. Each day, they imagine scenarios where they regain power over you. Some days, these fantasies involve you coming back willingly, apologizing, and reaffirming their importance. Other days, they envision revenge, situations where you suffer, regret leaving them, or become desperate to return. These fantasies fuel their ego and provide a temporary escape from the deep insecurity your absence has triggered. The narcissist needs to believe that they still hold power over you, even when reality suggests otherwise. Another daily behavior the narcissist exhibits is monitoring your social presence. Even if you have blocked them on all platforms, they often find alternative methods to track your activities. They might create fake accounts, recruit mutual acquaintances to gather information, or follow people connected to you. Every post you make, every picture you share, and every comment you leave becomes a source of obsession for them. They analyze these details, searching for clues about your emotional state and whether you miss them. This constant surveillance is not about caring, it is about maintaining a sense of control. When indirect monitoring is not enough, the narcissist often resorts to testing your boundaries through subtle provocations. They may send anonymous messages, accidentally bump into you in public places, or leave comments through mutual contacts. These small, calculated moves are designed to force a reaction without directly breaking your no-contact rule. The narcissist knows that even a brief response from you, whether positive or negative, confirms they still have influence. This validation temporarily soothes their fragile ego, encouraging them to continue their pursuit. Another daily tactic the narcissist employs is manipulating social circles. They understand that your support system is a powerful defense against their manipulation. To weaken that support, they spread false narratives about you to mutual friends, family, or co-workers. They paint themselves as the victim, claiming you abandoned them without cause or that you are emotionally unstable. By controlling the narrative, they hope to isolate you from those who could reinforce your decision to stay no contact. This social manipulation is strategic. It increases the likelihood that you will feel alone and vulnerable enough to re-engage with them. Simultaneously, the narcissist engages in emotional self-pity to justify their actions. Each day, they tell themselves that you are the one who wronged them, twisting reality to preserve their self-image. They refuse to acknowledge their abusive behavior because doing so would shatter their carefully crafted facade. By portraying themselves as the injured party, they gain sympathy from others while convincing themselves that their efforts to break your no-contact boundary are justified. This victim mentality reinforces their belief that you owe them a response. When emotional manipulation fails, many narcissists escalate to provoking jealousy as a daily strategy. They may flaunt new relationships, post images suggesting a glamorous lifestyle, or spread rumors that they are happier without you. These actions are not about genuine happiness. They are calculated to create emotional turmoil. The narcissist wants you to feel replaced and insignificant, hoping the pain will drive you to reach out. This strategy plays on the emotional bonds you once shared, using jealousy as a weapon to undermine your self-control. A more extreme daily behavior narcissists engage in during no contact is fabricating emergencies. If subtle manipulation does not work, they create crises to force your involvement. They might claim to be seriously ill, facing financial ruin, or experiencing emotional breakdowns. These fabricated emergencies exploit your empathy, hoping to break your resolve by making you feel guilty for leaving. The narcissist knows that if they can trigger your compassion, you are more likely to abandon your boundaries and re-establish contact. Another method narcissists use daily is projecting their pain onto you. Unable to handle their own feelings of abandonment and insecurity, they convince themselves that you are the one suffering without them. They tell themselves you are secretly unhappy, lost, and waiting for them to return. This projection allows them to avoid confronting their emotional wounds while maintaining the illusion that you still need them. By believing you are in pain, they justify their obsessive pursuit and relentless attempts to disrupt your life. The narcissist also engages in repetitive validation-seeking behaviors. Each day, they seek out new sources of validation to fill the void left by your absence. This could involve pursuing new romantic partners, seeking admiration from friends, or immersing themselves in work achievements. However, these external sources of validation are temporary fixes. No matter how much attention they receive, it does not replace the unique power they once held over you. This ongoing emptiness fuels their obsession, driving their daily efforts to break your no-contact boundary. In more severe cases, the narcissist may turn to legal or financial harassment as a means of control. If they shared financial responsibilities with you or had legal ties, they use these connections to maintain a form of contact. They might delay financial agreements, dispute shared assets, or threaten legal action. These tactics are designed to exhaust you emotionally and financially, forcing you to interact with them out of necessity. The narcissist views these manipulations as justified punishment for your defiance. At the core of all these daily behaviors lies the narcissist's inability to accept rejection. Your decision to go no contact represents a loss of control that they cannot tolerate. Each day, their actions reflect their desperation to reassert dominance and avoid confronting their fragile self-worth. They cannot comprehend that someone could leave them and thrive without their influence. This cognitive dissonance fuels their relentless pursuit, driving them to escalate their manipulative tactics in a never-ending cycle. Despite their daily efforts, the truth remains. You hold the power. By maintaining no contact, you disrupt the narcissist's ability to control and manipulate your emotions. Every day you refuse to engage weakens their influence and reinforces your freedom. The narcissist's obsession is not a reflection of your worth. It is a testament to their inability to function without external validation. You are not responsible for their pain, and you do not owe them access to your life. The most important thing to remember is that no contact is a boundary, not a punishment. It is an act of self-preservation, a declaration that you deserve a life free from manipulation and emotional abuse. No matter how persistent or aggressive the narcissist's actions become, your silence is a powerful reminder that their control is broken. With each passing day, you move further away from their toxic influence and closer to a life defined by peace, autonomy, and genuine self-worth. Every day that you maintain no contact, the narcissist becomes more desperate to regain control. Their inability to access you creates a psychological void they cannot tolerate. For a narcissist, control is not just a preference, it is a necessity. Without it, their carefully crafted self-image begins to crumble. This drives them to engage in increasingly manipulative behaviors, all aimed at breaking your silence and restoring their sense of power. No matter how much time passes, the narcissist's obsession does not fade. Instead, it intensifies as they struggle to cope with the reality that they are no longer the center of your world. One of the most common things a narcissist does every day during no contact is attempting to rewrite the narrative. In their mind, the truth is whatever serves their ego. They tell themselves that you were the problem, that you overreacted, or that you are ungrateful for everything they did for you. This internal rewriting helps them avoid accountability while maintaining their belief that they are the true victim. Each day, they refine and spread this false narrative to anyone willing to listen, hoping to discredit your side of the story and protect their fragile ego. At the same time, the narcissist continues to monitor your life through any available means. Even if you have blocked them on every platform, they find ways to observe you from a distance. They may follow your social circles, check public profiles, or use mutual acquaintances to gather information. Each new detail they discover becomes fuel for their obsession. If they see you thriving, they become enraged at the idea that you are happy without them. If you appear to be struggling, they feel validated in their belief that you cannot survive without their presence. Either way, the narcissist remains fixated on maintaining an invisible connection to your life. Daily, the narcissist also engages in mental rehearsals of how to break your silence. They strategize and plan different approaches to force you to respond. Some days, they imagine scenarios where you come back on your own, apologizing and admitting that you made a mistake. Other days, they plan how to provoke you through anger, jealousy, or guilt. This constant mental rehearsal is not about missing you. It is about reasserting their dominance. In their mind, the silence cannot last forever, and they are determined to be the one who ends it. When direct methods fail, many narcissists turn to indirect forms of manipulation. One of the most common is using third parties to communicate. They may reach out to your friends or family, pretending to be concerned about your well-being. These messages often carry hidden emotional triggers designed to make you question your decision to go no contact. By involving others, the narcissist hopes to bypass your boundaries while maintaining the appearance of innocence. This tactic is a deliberate attempt to exploit your emotional connections and wear down your resolve. Another daily tactic is the use of subtle reminders to keep themselves present in your thoughts. The narcissist knows that emotional bonds are not broken overnight. They leave breadcrumbs, small, seemingly harmless gestures designed to pull you back in. This could be a nostalgic post on social media, an unexpected message, or even running into you accidentally. These moments are carefully calculated to stir up memories and emotions, making it harder for you to maintain your boundaries. Each reminder is a test to see if you are still vulnerable to their influence. If subtle tactics do not work, the narcissist often escalates to more aggressive forms of emotional manipulation. One of the most common is playing the victim. They may spread stories about how much they are suffering without you, painting themselves as the wounded party. This narrative is carefully crafted to evoke feelings of guilt and responsibility. They want you to question whether you were too harsh, too cold, or too unforgiving. By framing themselves as the victim, they attempt to shift the emotional burden onto you, hoping you will break no contact out of compassion. At the same time, the narcissist engages in image management to present themselves as the ideal version of who they think you want. They may post pictures highlighting their success, new relationships, or personal growth. These curated images are not reflections of genuine change. They are performances designed to make you doubt your decision. The narcissist wants you to believe that they are happier and healthier without you, while secretly craving the validation that comes from your attention. This public facade is a tool to manipulate your perception and increase the likelihood that you will reach out. A particularly destructive daily behavior is the narcissist's use of triangulation. If they cannot reach you directly, they may bring someone else into the picture to provoke a reaction. This could involve flaunting a new partner, rekindling old relationships, or involving a mutual acquaintance. The goal is to make you feel insecure, jealous, or replaceable. By creating a sense of competition, the narcissist hopes to force you into re-engaging with them. This tactic is not about genuine affection for the new person. It is about using them as a tool to manipulate your emotions. When these manipulations fail, many narcissists resort to outright sabotage. They may attempt to disrupt your life in ways that force interaction. This could involve interfering with your work, spreading damaging rumors, or using legal or financial entanglements to maintain a connection. The narcissist views your independence as a threat to their control, and they will go to great lengths to undermine it. Each act of sabotage is a calculated effort to make no contact impossible, forcing you to engage with them on their terms. Despite their external behaviors, the narcissist's internal world is filled with turmoil. Each day without your attention deepens their feelings of emptiness and inadequacy. Narcissists cannot regulate their emotions independently. They rely on external validation to maintain their sense of self. When you remove that validation by going no contact, it forces them to confront the emptiness they have been avoiding. This internal crisis fuels their obsessive need to regain control, driving their relentless pursuit. What the narcissist cannot accept is that no contact represents a loss they cannot reverse. Every day that you refuse to engage is a reminder that they are no longer in control. This reality is unbearable for someone who defines their worth through domination and manipulation. The narcissist cannot cope with being discarded because it contradicts their belief that they are superior and irreplaceable. This cognitive dissonance intensifies their obsession, making them even more determined to break your silence. Yet, no matter how persistent their efforts, the truth remains. You hold the power. By maintaining no contact, you disrupt the narcissist's ability to manipulate and control you. Each day of silence weakens their influence and reinforces your autonomy. The narcissist's daily behaviors are not a reflection of your worth. They are symptoms of their inability to function without external validation. Your freedom lies in recognizing that their obsession is not your responsibility and that you deserve a life free from manipulation. No contact is more than just a boundary. It is an act of self-liberation. By refusing to engage, you reclaim your emotional independence and break free from the narcissist's toxic cycle. Every day you stay silent is a victory, a declaration that you are no longer controlled by their lies or their games. While the narcissist may continue their relentless pursuit, their power diminishes with each moment you refuse to respond. You are not their possession, and no matter how much they try, they cannot reclaim what you have chosen to take back: your peace, your freedom, and your life. Every day that you remain in no contact, the narcissist's frustration and obsession grows stronger. Their need for control is so deeply ingrained that they cannot simply let go or move on. For a narcissist, losing control over someone they once manipulated feels like a personal attack on their ego. They cannot accept that you have the power to walk away and deny them access to your emotions. This inability to let go drives them to engage in behaviors that range from subtle manipulation to outright harassment, all with the aim of forcing you to break your silence and re-establishing their dominance. One of the first things a narcissist does every day during no contact is constantly thinking about you. They replay past conversations, arguments, and moments of emotional vulnerability. This mental looping is not rooted in love or care. It is an obsession with regaining control. They analyze every interaction, searching for weaknesses or unfinished emotional ties they can exploit. In their mind, no contact is not the end of the relationship. It is a temporary pause until they find a way to pull you back into their grasp. Another daily behavior is their relentless attempt to control the narrative. Narcissists cannot stand the idea that you might be telling others the truth about their manipulative and abusive behavior. To counter this, they work tirelessly to spread their version of events. They may tell mutual friends that you abandoned them without reason or portray themselves as the misunderstood victim. This narrative is designed to discredit you while preserving their self-image. By controlling how others view the relationship, the narcissist feels a sense of power even when you are no longer in direct contact. Monitoring your life from a distance is another daily obsession for the narcissist. Even if you have blocked them on social media and cut off mutual connections, they often find alternative ways to track your activities. They may create fake accounts, use third-party apps, or rely on shared acquaintances to gather information. Every new detail they discover feeds their obsession and fuels their desire to regain control. If they see you thriving without them, it enrages them. If you appear to be struggling, they view it as proof that you still need them. Either way, their surveillance reinforces their belief that you are not truly free from their influence. Narcissists also spend a great deal of time planning how to break your no-contact boundary. They strategize different ways to force a response, ranging from emotional appeals to aggressive provocations. Some days, they imagine scenarios where you return willingly, apologizing and admitting you made a mistake. Other times, they fantasize about ways to punish you for leaving. This mental rehearsal is a coping mechanism to soothe their bruised ego and maintain the illusion that they still hold power over you. A common tactic they use daily is sending indirect messages through mutual acquaintances. If they cannot contact you directly, they will find ways to communicate using people you both know. They may send casual inquiries about your well-being or share information they know will get back to you. These indirect messages are designed to stir curiosity and provoke an emotional response. The narcissist hopes that hearing their name or knowing they are still interested will be enough to break your resolve. When subtle manipulation fails, the narcissist often resorts to more overt tactics like creating false emergencies. They know that you once cared about them, and they use this to their advantage. They might claim to be seriously ill, facing a financial crisis, or experiencing emotional breakdowns. These fabricated emergencies are carefully crafted to trigger your empathy and make you feel responsible for their well-being. The narcissist is betting on the fact that your compassion will override your boundaries, forcing you to engage with them again. Daily, the narcissist also focuses on ways to make you feel jealous or insecure. They may flaunt new relationships, highlight their social life, or post carefully curated images suggesting they are happier without you. These actions are not genuine. They are performances designed to provoke a reaction. The narcissist wants you to believe you have been replaced and that they are thriving without your presence. This tactic is meant to make you question your worth and reconsider your decision to go no contact. Another destructive behavior narcissists engage in is using triangulation to destabilize you emotionally. They may deliberately involve a third party, such as a new romantic partner, to create tension and jealousy. This manipulation is not about genuine affection for the other person. It is about using them as a tool to get to you. By making you feel like you are in competition, the narcissist hopes to force you back into their control. This daily game of emotional chess is another attempt to regain the upper hand and disrupt your sense of peace. If these manipulations do not work, the narcissist often resorts to more aggressive forms of control, such as legal or financial entanglements. If you share financial responsibilities or legal ties, they use these connections to maintain a form of contact. They may delay payments, dispute agreements, or threaten legal action to force interaction. The goal is to exhaust you emotionally and financially, making no contact impossible. For the narcissist, any form of communication, even conflict, is better than being ignored. Behind all these behaviors lies a profound sense of emptiness that the narcissist cannot tolerate. Without your attention, they are forced to confront the emotional void they have spent their lives avoiding. Each day that you refuse to engage deepens their internal crisis. Narcissists rely on external validation to maintain their fragile self-worth, and no contact strips them of that supply. This loss of control triggers intense feelings of rejection, which they cannot process in a healthy way. Instead of accepting the reality, they double down on their manipulative behaviors, hoping to restore the balance of power. Despite their relentless efforts, the narcissist cannot break free from the psychological grip that no contact imposes on them. Every day that you remain silent is a reminder that they have lost control. This reality is intolerable for someone who defines their worth through domination and manipulation. Their inability to move on is not a reflection of how much they love you. It is a sign of their deep-seated need to control and consume others for their own emotional survival. The most important thing to understand is that no contact is a form of empowerment. It is not about punishing the narcissist. It is about protecting yourself from further harm. Each day you maintain your silence weakens their influence and strengthens your sense of self. The narcissist's obsession is not your responsibility, and their attempts to break your boundaries only reinforce why those boundaries are necessary. By staying no contact, you are reclaiming your autonomy and refusing to participate in their toxic game. The narcissist may continue their daily manipulations, but they no longer have access to your energy or your emotions. You are no longer their supply. Every day you remain silent is a declaration that you deserve peace, freedom, and a life free from manipulation. The narcissist's power only exists if you give it to them, and by maintaining no contact, you are taking that power back one day at a time. Every day that you maintain no contact, the narcissist becomes more consumed by their need to regain control. Their fragile ego cannot handle the idea that someone they once dominated now refuses to engage with them. This loss of power triggers a relentless internal struggle, and instead of moving on, they become fixated on ways to break your silence. The longer you maintain no contact, the more desperate and creative their manipulative tactics become. For the narcissist, this is not just about missing you. It is about proving to themselves that they still hold the power to control your emotions and your decisions. One of the most common things a narcissist does every day during no contact is oscillating between rage and self-pity. On some days, they are furious that you dared to cut them off, viewing your silence as a direct challenge to their superiority. This anger fuels fantasies of revenge, where they imagine scenarios in which you return to them, broken and apologetic. On other days, their emotions shift to self-pity. They convince themselves that they are the true victim, that you were ungrateful, cruel, or incapable of appreciating everything they did for you. This emotional roller coaster is an attempt to protect their ego from the painful truth that you have taken back your power. In their daily routine, narcissists also engage in extensive mental rehearsals. They play out conversations that never happened, imagining clever ways to manipulate you into responding. These rehearsals are not about reconciliation. They are about finding the perfect strategy to break your resolve. They consider every possible angle: guilt, jealousy, anger, and even nostalgia. In their mind, you are still a possession they refuse to release, and they believe it is only a matter of time before you break and reach out. This obsessive thinking consumes their mental energy and further deepens their need to regain control. A key strategy they use daily is attempting to invade your emotional space through subtle triggers. They know which buttons to push and which memories will haunt you. This can manifest through indirect gestures like liking an old social media post, posting songs or quotes that remind you of shared experiences, or leaving cryptic messages that only you would understand. These actions are deliberate attempts to stir up unresolved emotions. The narcissist hopes that by reactivating your emotional connection, they can weaken your resolve and break the silence. Narcissists also spend a significant amount of time each day trying to create a new source of narcissistic supply. However, no matter how quickly they enter new relationships or surround themselves with admirers, these new sources rarely satisfy them. The narcissist views people as interchangeable, but the loss of someone who once provided consistent emotional supply is difficult for them to replace. This is why, despite appearing to move on, they remain obsessed with you. The new supply may provide temporary distraction, but it cannot fill the void left by losing control over someone who once catered to their needs. Another daily behavior is the narcissist's ongoing campaign to rewrite the past. They cannot accept responsibility for the damage they caused, so they twist reality to fit their preferred narrative. In their version of events, they are never at fault. You are the one who overreacted, misunderstood them, or failed to meet their expectations. This narrative is not just for others. It is for themselves as well. By reshaping the story, they avoid confronting the truth about their toxic behavior. This mental exercise helps them maintain their illusion of superiority while denying any genuine self-reflection. Throughout the no-contact period, narcissists frequently attempt to recruit flying monkeys, people who will do their bidding and report back to them. They may manipulate mutual friends, family members, or colleagues into spying on you or delivering their messages. These flying monkeys often believe they are acting out of concern, unaware that the narcissist is using them as pawns in a larger manipulation game. Every piece of information the narcissist gathers through these intermediaries becomes ammunition to further their attempts to disrupt your peace. When subtle tactics do not work, the narcissist may escalate their behavior to more aggressive forms of manipulation. This can include threats, emotional blackmail, or attempts to sabotage areas of your life. They know your vulnerabilities and are willing to exploit them to force a reaction. Whether it is interfering with your career, spreading rumors, or threatening to reveal personal information, the narcissist is driven by a singular goal: to reassert control by any means necessary. Their inability to respect boundaries makes them relentless in their pursuit of dominance. Narcissists also engage in self-destructive behaviors when no contact persists. The absence of their primary source of emotional supply creates an emotional void that they struggle to fill. This can lead to reckless actions like substance abuse, impulsive spending, or risky relationships. These behaviors are not just about coping with a loss. They are also designed to create a spectacle, hoping that you will hear about their suffering and feel compelled to re-engage. For the narcissist, even negative attention is better than being ignored. Each day that you maintain no contact represents a challenge to the narcissist's deeply held belief that they are untouchable. They cannot comprehend that someone could truly walk away and refuse to be manipulated. This loss of control chips away at their carefully constructed facade of superiority. Behind their confident exterior lies a fragile self-image that depends on external validation. Your silence is a direct assault on their need for constant affirmation, and they experience this as an unbearable rejection. While the narcissist may appear to be thriving on the surface, the reality is quite different. Internally, they are consumed by a sense of emptiness that no amount of manipulation can fill. The narcissist cannot regulate their self-worth independently. They rely on others to mirror their inflated sense of self. Without your attention, their internal world becomes chaotic and disordered. This emotional void is why they cannot simply move on and why they continue their obsessive behaviors long after you have cut ties. Your decision to maintain no contact is a powerful act of self-preservation. It denies the narcissist access to your energy, your emotions, and your life. Each day that you refuse to engage weakens their influence and strengthens your autonomy. While the narcissist will continue their relentless attempts to break your silence, their power over you diminishes the longer you remain firm in your boundaries. You are no longer a pawn in their manipulative game. You are reclaiming your identity and your peace. Ultimately, the narcissist's daily obsession with you during no contact is not a reflection of your worth. It is a testament to their inability to function without external validation. Their manipulations are a desperate attempt to restore a dynamic where they are in control, but by maintaining no contact, you disrupt that power structure entirely. Each day of silence is a victory, a reminder that you deserve a life free from manipulation and emotional exploitation. The narcissist cannot survive without a source of supply, but you are proving every day that you can thrive without them.